Hi, Europe and beyond. It's Eurovision Ireland, and we're back with our first of the 2023 reviews of the 37 songs taking part in Liverpool in May. Now, let's just introduce the gang. We've got Bogdan.
Hi, everyone.
We've got Sarah.
Hi, everyone.
We've got James.
Hey, everyone.
We've got Richard.
Hi, all.
And we've got me, John, with Staggy here, who he may pop up from time to time. Now, what we're going to do is start with semi-final one, and we're looking at the songs in alphabetical order, not necessarily running order, even though we do know what the running orders are. We just thought we'd mix it up a little bit, see how it goes. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you think. Tell us if you think it's a good idea. If it is, we'll carry on with it next year. So without further ado, we're going to crack on with the first song we're going to review, and that's from Azerbaijan. Now, it's called Tell Me More, and it's by Tural Turan X. And it's over to Bogdan.
Thank you, John. Well, Azerbaijan this year comes with something that we haven't heard from Azerbaijan in Eurovision. It's a pop alternative rock. For me, it's like a combination between Beatles and Sixpence None the Richer. It has a sound that we were used to hear at maybe late 90s towards early 2000s. It's a dreamy song. It's pleasant. I enjoy it. The harmonies are really good. I'm not sure how well it's going to do on a big Eurovision stage, but sometimes you don't need a big wow song to impress the public and the jury. But for now, we have only the public in the semifinals. However, I think it's a pleasant song. And yeah, it's easy to listen, easy to enjoy. That's how it goes.
Thanks, Bogdan. Now, what we're going to do is cast our scores for each song after we reviewed. So Bogdan's now reviewed Azerbaijan. We're all going to give us scores out of 10. So the top mark a song can get is 50. So Bogdan, what's your score for Azerbaijan?
A pleasant 6.
Sarah, your score?
7.
7. And James?
I'm yet to be convinced. 5.
5. And Richard?
I'm with James on this one. It's a 5.
5. I'm actually going to give it an 8. I do actually quite like it. But what do I know? So that gives us a score of 31, I think. The score will appear somewhere on the screen. Right, moving on. Up to Croatia now, and that's Mama Shche by Let 3. And Sarah's going to lead on that one.
Well, I'm glad you did the Croatian pronunciation, John, because I wouldn't have a clue. So thank you for that. Well, you couldn't get much of a contrast to me and Guilty Pleasure last year. My goodness, they've gone the complete opposite end of the spectrum here. When I first saw this, I thought, my goodness, this is a kind of song that is going to divide opinions. Some are going to love it, and some are going to think, oh my goodness, what have we got here? To me, it's like a combination. It's certainly mad. It's mad in quite a funny way, really. Although having said that, with the subject about it, it's quite interesting because they're talking about sort of leaders in Europe. It's all kind of very sort of current, what's going on in the world stuff at the moment. But told in sort of quite in a different way. So to me, there's a lot of different types of songs all rolled into one. That's what it feels like. So, you sort of got them all sort of dressed in their uniforms, and we seem to be going sort of from one, very quick changes of key from one to the next. I think it's certainly going to cause some controversy. I'm not sure at the moment whether it's going to be on my list of favourites this year. I've yet to be convinced. But for me, it's like a little bit of a combination of you got the sort of the wackiness of Berka Saduchka from 2007, but it reminded me a little bit of going back to Portugal 2011 as well, when we had it was a very sort of politically geared song about sort of what was going on in the country at the time, with the poverty and everything else that was going on. and that was sung by Daluta, and it kind of had that weird, wacky sense of feeling that this year's Croatian entry has got for me. So at the moment, I can't decide whether I like it or not, but it'd be interesting to see what Europe thinks of it.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Sarah. So, what's your score out of 10 for Croatia?
5.
And James?
I keep waking up singing it. I'm going to give it an 8.
8. And Rich?
I'm going to give it a 5 as well.
I'm giving it a 4. I'm not convinced. And Bogdan?
5 as well.
5. They get a score of 27 out of a possible 50. All right, moving on. Next alphabetically is Czechia, as they're allowed to be known now. Now, this one's called My Sister's Crown, and it's performed by a multinational group called Vesna. James is taking the lead on that one. Over to you.
I really, really like this. The first time I heard it, I mean, the music video is just, it's bizarre, but in the best possible way. You know, you sort of have the group all very sort of heavily made up in sort of, I don't know what we'd even call that. It looks sort of like a cross between Tudor, but sort of Alice in Wonderland. You know, everyone's sort of slightly deranged, and you know, sort of people in chokers and all these weird things happening. But I love the fact there's a sort of chanting repetitiveness to it, which I think if they can pull off live, I think that's going to do very, very well. The subject matter, it's about female empowerment, which I think, you know, that always goes down well. And it's also in Ukrainian. Now, I mean, it's in a mixture of Slavic languages, which I'll get onto in a second, but I think the fact Ukrainian is in there, Ukraine now have quite a large diaspora, so I'm thinking that, especially in a semi-final where only televoting is being used, I think that could come in very, very handy. I love the fact it's in so many languages. I mean, we're hearing Ukrainian more at Eurovision now, but we don't very often hear Czech and Bulgarian as another one we don't hear too often. And I love the fact, I mean, this is the linguist in me sort of really geeking out over it, but I love the fact that, you know, Ukrainian Czech have sort of quite soft vowel sounds. It's sort of quite rolling and delicate, and then you have Bulgarian, which is a lot more sort of earthy, and it sounds so sort of juxtaposing all those sounds. I think it just works really, really well. It's very memorable. Yeah, I think it's bonkers in a similar vein to Croatia, but I think it stops sort of at 50 kilometers where Croatia kept going. They sort of like veered in towards it. You know, we'll sort of do the wacky makeup and the sort of, yeah, everyone's absolutely delighted. But there's still sort of a message, and there's still sort of someone holding on to logic in there, which I think, yeah, I think this could do well for Czechia. I know it was quite high up in betting odds for a while. And could it bring them their best results today? I like to think it could.
Thanks, James. Of course, as I forgot to mention, Azerbaijan performed 12th in semi-final 1. Croatia performed 7th spot. Czechia are on 13th in semi-final 1. But anyway, on to more important stuff. What's your score for Czechia, James?
I'm giving it a 10. I love it.
10. And Rich?
7.
7. And me, yes, me next. Yeah, I'm giving it a 7 as well. Yeah. Bogdan?
I give it an 8.
8. Okay. And Sarah?
I'll give it a 7.
7. So that gets a score of 39. It's leading so far. Okay. Now, moving on. What comes next alphabetically? Who doesn't love a bit of Finland? Now, this song is called Cha Cha Cha. And it's by Karja. Apologies to any Finns out there, but I just had to say that one. Now, he's performing 15th and last in the first semi-final. Richard, what have you got to say about this song?
Now, this isn't the Cha 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 everybody expects on a Saturday night TV show. First time I saw it, I just didn't get it, but actually it grows on you. There's a lot of lime green involved. It's quite upbeat, but I don't quite know how to explain the genre, to be honest, because it's quite mixed bag of things. It's quite punchy. I'll be interested to see how they stage it in Liverpool. whether they use the boxing ring like the video or the boxing like they use at UMK, which seems to be growing as the national final year on year now. So it's no wonder they pick these wonderful, weird, wacky compositions. In terms of voting, it should easily get through to the final. It'll probably win the public vote in the final, but I can't see juries going for it. But it's certainly going to be there on the Saturday night, whatever anybody says about it.
Thanks, Rich. Yes, as I say, he gets one of the plum draws in a semi-final, i.e. performing last, and that's usually nailed on to get through to the final, but what do we know? Anyway, Rich, you're going to kick off. What's your score for Finland out of 10?
8.
8. I'm giving it a 9. And Bogdan?
Cha Cha 10.
10. Wow. And Sarah?
8.
8. And finally, James?
From James, a 10. Love it.
10. Karja has got himself a 45 out of 50. Now, can that all be beaten over the course of our remaining shows? And the last one, the fifth one we're looking to look at is Ireland. Now, I know we'll always say that till the end, but just in the interest of expediency, we're going to cover Ireland now. So we're starting with Ireland. And it's called We Are One. It's sung by a band called Wild Youth, who've got a bit of a pedigree. They've been a support act to quite a few big acts. And the song co-writer Jürgen Olafsson has written for many, many people. Westlife, dare I say, Corolla, Charlotte Nielsen. No, please don't shudder. Anyway, yes, and I'm going to lead on that one. Now, we did get to briefly chat to Connor, the singer of the band, when I was in Dublin last month, so feel free to chat it out on Eurovision Ireland, of course. It was probably the right winner of the Irish national final. It was a very low-key event anyway. It's got a lot of potential. I thought they'd put it on maybe first rather than sixth because it's got that song, We Are One, and this is what you're going to see tonight and over the course of the next 3 nights. But so it surprised me that it's not been put on first. I do actually quite like it. There's a lot of familiarity about it. It's a bit, I don't know, U2, maybe not a single, but maybe an album track by U2. It's nicely safe. It's possibly a bit too safe. The video is very interesting as you get to see the band, but you don't actually get to see the band, who the band are, which, does that mean it's got to be a nice surprise when we see them on stage in Liverpool in May? As I say, I do like it. It's maybe not a winner, but it's a sort of genre that Ireland has been known to do well at in the mainstream charts, maybe not necessarily Eurovision. So it's safe ground for them. It's a fairly safe song. It only has to beat 5 songs to get through to the grand final, then it's game on. I like it. So does Staggy. He's been humming it or squeaking it all morning, all day. When I've been playing it to him. So who knows? As for a score, I'm going to stick my neck out and give it an 8. Bogdan, what's your score for Ireland?
I like it. Probably it's a 7.
And Sarah?
Not really my type of music, I'm afraid. 6.
Okay. James?
I'm going to give it a 6 as well.
And Rich?
I find the chorus quite anthemic. I'm going to give it an 8 as well. So
that scores 35. Now, you can see the scores. I'll read out the scores anyway, but you can probably see them above and below us. So of this clutch of songs, in 5th place, we've got Croatia on 27. In 4th place, we've got Azerbaijan on 31. In 3rd place, we've got Ireland on 35. In 2nd place, we have Czechia on 39. And the winners of this little broadcast on 45 is Finland. Now, before we close, I'm just going to go quickly around the room. Any closing comments about any of the songs? And it's got to be nicely brief. So, Bogdan. what have you got to say about the other songs?
Well, for me, the highlight is obviously Finland, and I think it's going to do really well, and I can't wait to sing it along on the night.
Thanks, Sarah.
I agree with Bogdan. I think of the songs that we've discussed tonight, I think Finland are definitely the ones to watch.
Okay, James.
Yep, definitely. I think out of this group, Finland's definitely the strongest in there. I honestly consider them as one to watch for the trophy. I think we could see Finland's second win with this. So
Okay. And Rich?
Like I've already said when I spoke about Finland, I think they could do really well. In terms of Ireland, I think their chorus has got quite a good hook. Considering it's only the public voting, that might do them the favour.
Yeah, I've got to agree. Finland, I think, is a standout one from this group of 5. Ireland, Liverpool's quite an Irish-based city, so there could be an awful lot of home support in the arena for their semi-final. So there, we'll put these scores together with what you'll see in the other shows that we've got coming up, featuring the other 32 songs. Tell us what you think. Do you agree with us? Do you think there could be a winner in this 5? Do you think none of these 5 have got a chance of getting out semi-final? Feel free to tell us. You can find us on the usual social media channels, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, maybe others, as well as the website, EurovisionIreland.net. So rather than saying goodbye to each of the team, we're all going to say goodbye together. So thanks, guys. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.